everyone. Today, I'm going to return to a band which I met early on in this journey and I have visited from time to time over the course of it, and that is Dire Straits. Today's song is Private Investigations from 1982. Let's just start listening and see where we end up. Oh boy. Okay, I need to know how many of you hear what I think I'm hearing in the very first notes of this song. Somehow when I hear that, I think, she's not a girl that misses much. I'd have to go back and check because it's been a while since I listened to that song to see if my memory of the exact melodic shape is accurate. But somehow that is immediately what came to my mind when I heard that first phrase. And it's amazing how such a little simple phrase, which, I mean, okay, let's find it. Something like that. Simple phrase, and anyone could come up with it. I am not going to suggest that this was copied from the Beatles or anybody else. I don't know. I don't know if it was or wasn't. Obviously, this came 1982, so perhaps it was inspired by that, or perhaps not. Because something that I've been talking about recently in several pieces is the nature of the rising sixth and how it can very easily evoke a sense of yearning or longing or wistfulness. And this is quite a wishful melodic line, especially the way it's being played here with a lot of space between it. And we're made to wait and linger and enjoy. And then that same idea is developed and explored a bit more throughout the course of this introduction. You hear it going to different notes, different chords. There's a sort of Spanish quality to this as well. The way the way the notes are being grouped in a quick little flurries of activity, especially here. And here, right?
Mystery to me.
Oh.
The game commences for the usual fee, plus expenses, confidential information. It's in a diary. This is my investigation. It's not a public inquiry.
Ooh. This has a lot of sort of Spanish and flamenco type influences here. Not just the guitar stylistic elements that are coming out, but the whole thing is rather romantic and there's a sort of sultriness about it. And then the way the words are delivered, not even sung, simply said. It's a mystery to me. The game commences for the usual fee plus expenses. But notice how the way these lyrics are delivered, they contribute to this incredibly colorful and rhythmically intense experience of the music. It becomes part of the rhythmic element of the piece. These lyrics are a rhythmic instrument. Listen.
It's a mystery to me. The game commences for the usual fee, plus expenses, confidential information. It's in a diary. This is my investigation. It's not a public inquiry.
Such a nice blend, lyrically, the delivery of it, between something spoken, something rhythmically delivered, and at the same time, there's I wouldn't quite say a melodic quality, but a harmonic quality. Listen to how his voice adapts its pitch cadence so that as the chords darken and become gloomy, and when we reach the conclusion of a phrase, his voice modulates to not merely accommodate, but to enhance that.
For the usual fee, plus expenses,
A little bit up,
confidential information. It's in a
now
diary.
darkening, is in a diary,
This is my
and
investigation.
even lower.
It's not a public inquiry.
It's not a public inquiry. And it becomes darker here. Ooh. Ah.
I go checking out the reports, digging up the dirt. You get to meet all sorts in this line of work. Treachery and treason, there's always an excuse for it. And when I find the reason, I still can't get used to it.
Ooh, I love the way it gets darker here. You know, this is bordering on a rhythmic musical delivery of the lyrics similar to what we might find in rap or what we might find in, you know, the sort of spoken word art genre of poetry or a branch of poetry, or an artist that I have listened to several of his works is Ren, and I can hear some of the rhythmic motifs constant, but this is more subtle. This is not digging hard into the rhythmic delivery. It is softer and smoother, and it's a little bit well, it's a little bit more flamenco. It is. And the Spanish Arabic blend of rhythms and musical styles and colors. When I listen to this, I see colors. I think of colors. No, I am not synesthetic. But at the same time, when I listen to music, it gets my imagination going, and I start to see rich dark reds, black, perhaps a bit of gold. I see elaborate embroidery. I see shadows with flashes of light. I see I imagine even a black and white movie or something like that. There is this element of mystery and romance and at the same time, all of it colored by darkness. That is what this is doing. And it's really quite well done.
There's always an excuse for it. And when I find the reason, I still can't get used to it.
Right in here. I like the way the delivery of the words, each verse.
And what have you got? At the end of the day, what do you got to take away? A bottle of whiskey and a new set of lies.
Oh, I liked what the piano did there. Do 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 do. That was good.
To take away a bottle of whiskey.
Do 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 do.
A new set of lies.
Do 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 do. Right where it says new set of lies. That's where it is. New set of lies.
A new set of lies.
Do 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 do.
Blinds on the window.
Getting darker.
And a pain behind the eyes.
Okay, I'm beginning to identify what I find so appealing about this piece. The lyrics, the vocal delivery, the spoken rhythmic element of it is very present, but what I like is that it doesn't overpower or overshadow the musical side. The lyrics are short enough, the phrases are short enough, and the verses are compact enough. And the way it's set up, we hear that and we get pulled into it, but then before it takes over, it stops and the music continues the thought, continues the mood, the emotional expression. It's the music that is still leading this. And so the lyrics are more embedded within the musical texture, the musical fabric. They're woven in, embedded there, planted there, if you will. But they are surrounded by this rich musical, harmonic, melodic, rhythmic fabric. You might even say garden. So that I like the balance between the two. I can enjoy this musically more than and it feels more like a musical experience than, let's just say, Ren. I like and I deeply appreciate Ren's output and his artistic work. But for me, that is less music and it is more something else that includes music. But for me, this is still music with some of this embedded and woven through and within it. But still, the overall experience is still musical. And I like this balance that I'm hearing here. Continue the drama.
A new set of lies, blinds on the window, and a pain behind the eyes.
You notice how this verse moves downwards and downwards and downwards. Darker. Lower.
Scarred for life, no compensation. Private investigation.
Ooh. I like this little footstep
Scarred for
here.
life, no compensation. Private investigation.
Footsteps. Such an interesting way of blending these different elements. Ooh! I didn't expect that. This is dramatic musical painting of a scene. And it's working. It's incredibly well done. The way they're balancing and using these different musical influences. If I were to try to put names on different parts of them, you know, whether it's the spoken word part or whether it's the guitar part, which is very, very Spanish style, or some of these other sonic color, mood, sound painting instruments that are happening there, reminds me a lot of what Pink Floyd did with, well, for example, The Wall or even Dark Side of the Moon, where they're using these instruments to simply paint a broad stroke of color and mood over which other things are placed. There's a lot of that happening in here. So much so that it's easy to get lost and taken up by this whole musical experience in a sort of entertainment level that it would be easy to lose sight of some of the important message that's being expressed. It becomes as riveting as, some crime movie, some mystery movie, something where you get all caught up in seeing how the story develops. And we can listen to this sort of thing purely for entertainment and the drama and the way it pulls us into this dark, mysterious world of private investigations. But I think that it's important, and I want to take time here to think about the lyrics and about the message. This is the kind of, on the surface, it's the story of a private investigator whose life is spent digging up the dirt and the darkness of other crimes and criminals. In this line of work, you get to meet all sorts in this line of work. Treachery and treason. There's always an excuse for it. And when I find the reason, I still can't get used to it. And what have you got at the end of the day? What have you got to take away? A bottle of whiskey and a new set of lies. It's the toll this line of work takes on the investigator himself. But here's where, if we are listening and if we are paying attention, it becomes much more than that. Blinds on a window and a pain behind the eyes. Scarred for life. No compensation. Private investigations. There is so much to unpack in those lines if we are listening for it. Let's try just a little bit. I recently had a conversation with a friend, and we were discussing this fact that most of us humans spend our lives building a sort of story of who we are and what we are. And we never really take the time or put forth the effort or employ the honesty and truth-telling necessary to look within ourselves and truly see who we really are. Most of us live with a mask before the world, but also a mask before ourselves, so that what we see when we look in the mirror is not truly ourself. It's what we want to believe about ourselves, what we want to think that we are, what we would like to be, and so we tell ourselves the story that is who we are. A set of lies. Blinds on a window and a pain behind the eyes. But just as most of us do that, and it's a very human thing, and it's one of the things that makes us human rather than some other animal on this earth, is this creativity, this ability to create stories. And any fiction we might call, if we want to be really, really brutal about it, we might call any fiction a lie, although that's a bit extreme. But this idea that we as humans are creative, that is why we as humans tell lies. And so this is both our strength and our downfall, our identity and our destruction. And I think this song is tapping into a bit of that here, especially at the end. What have you got at the end of the day? After examining all these secrets and discovering all the dirt of other people's stories and lies, and you still can't get used to the cruelty of it, the brutality of it, the ugliness of what we see in humanity and in the crimes that humanity will commit and does commit. What have you got to take away? A bottle of whiskey and a new set of lies. Blinds on a window and a pain behind the eyes. These kinds of looking into the darkness of humanity scar us, especially if in looking into the darkness of humanity, we don't look into the darkness of who we are ourselves. We create a new set of lies about who we are, and we want to believe that we're better than that. Scarred for life, no compensation. Private investigations. Private investigations. What if the real private investigation is the investigation of our own soul, and that the only way to discover truth, to understand who we are, is to investigate our own soul and the things that have scarred us, have shaped us, that have made us build the story we have chosen to tell about ourselves. I think there's a lot of that in this song. And I think that it's an attractive way of presenting these ideas, so much so that, as I said, we can become just caught up in the entertainment of this, the mystery, the murder mystery, solving the question. But let's not forget that we should also put those same techniques to use and examine our own selves, because that is the only way to get past the blinds on a window, to prevent against continuing these crimes in our own lives, because the world scars us, whether it's our work, our family, circumstances, choices, relationships. Each one has an impact, and it's not always positive. Very often it's negative. And unless we figure that out, unless we look at that and understand what it has made us become and who we really are, then these very human crimes, this treachery and this treason that we see all around us in the lives of other people that we investigate, will be perpetuated in our own. Okay, back to the music. This is the wordless part. It pulls you in, but you hear a sort of shadow, a shadowing where you have the guitar telling, and then you have this pitched percussion, marimba or something like that, echoing. Is that perhaps what we see in what we investigate, and perhaps the echo of it in ourselves, the shadow of it in ourselves? There's the reflection. This back and forth. And then this blasting in. What is that? I think it's more than just some dramatic moment in the story. It's a moment of discovery. It's so intense. And there's an element of fearfulness about it. These strange sounds and cries that we hear. Why do we feel this? Well, sure, the music makes us feel like this. In a way, this is Well, I come back to Pink Floyd. This does make me come back around to Pink Floyd and my journey through the wall, which I explored in great detail. And if you haven't followed that series, it's worth checking out if you're interested in these ideas and these subjects. And you can find the first link here to, and then it's a playlist that continues through there. But the idea that these sorts of moods and feelings and fears and mysteries and sense of danger and even paranoia that we hear in something like this, it's not just some investigator walking into some abandoned building or abandoned, say, parking lot and being frightened and even attacked by something lurking in the shadows. This is the experience, and this is the job we have to come to know ourselves. And that's why it reminds me of Pink Floyd, because of The Wall specifically, because as I went through that whole album, I came to deeply appreciate the message that it bears about self-examination and the humility and the courage and the necessity of knowing who we are, or recognizing who we are, and not building walls between us and the world or us and ourselves. And that is the only way for the innocence of childhood, or we could say the innocent human experience to exist in this world. Because it is a very complex, twisted world out there. And there are all these different things, but it's a very complex, twisted world within as well. And that is where things begin, is inside. And that is the first battleground. That is the most important battleground. That is what makes us who we are, and how we relate to what is in each of our own selves affects and shapes how we relate to everything around us. And so this music at the end really sent me that direction beyond the entertainment and the drama factor. It is fabulous, and it is dramatic, and it is all of these things, but it's more than that as well. A great song, musically engaging, colorful, dramatic, riveting, interesting in the way it pulls in different musical stylistic influences and uses them to wonderful effect. And the message that is embedded in this song also is one that is worthy of attention. So that was my first time hearing Dire Straits' Private Investigations, and I'm looking forward to whenever the next time is that I come back around to Dire Straits and enjoy more of their music. I'll see you soon.